will get their first win of the season today, Cedric?
Yeah, they needed it because necessarily is only that luck has not been playing to their side. It's a team that has been playing with the purpose. They have been scoring goals, but and again they have been allowing in silly goals that has ended up not making them to win. Each and every match I think they have played, they have been commanding the game, at least at the tail end of the game before they dropped to 1 point. So as to say, if today they are quite formidable enough, they can go ahead and protect their lead, at least to have their first league of the season. And again, that lead will catapult them from where they are languishing from at the bottom of the league to maybe the mid-table of the league. And who knows, they continue with that style of winning moving forward, they can really reaffirm their lost stature of really competing at the top of the league and maybe challenging for the glory come at the end of the season.
Do you think they'll win this match?
They have players that can really place those goals behind the net, the likes of Munyendo. They have
Munyendo is the one who scored that goal.
Yeah, Elias Muguna. Up front, I have no doubt. You know, they also have the likes of Omunea from the bench who can still come and turn around the game. What has been delving this particular team is their defensive mechanism. Their goalkeeper has not been commanding his pace. Their central defenders, they have not been communicating. And sometimes you see them actually giving away silly passes that culminate from the opponent, capitalizing on them and punishing them heavily. So as to say, they just need to have learned from their last 3 matches that has made them be booed, be actually insulted, be mocked heavily, and also has made fans not to turn up in large numbers. You see how fans actually they are at Ulinzi Stadium.
But you're running away from one word. The fans chase the players away. Why are you not saying that? And remember, they're playing against Ingwe is playing against the Lion. And I want to bring Eshtemi into this conversation. The Lion, KCB, coached by the Lion, former AFC player.
I think it's not only the Lion. We also have Humphrey Mieno.
Yes.
The former FC Leopards and Godmare, a midfielder. I think these are some of the experienced players in that squad that can end up inflicting pain on Ingwe. Remember their last 2 home matches against their last 3 home matches
they've lost
against KCB. They've always ended up in a draw. So maybe this could also be another draw. I understand that Leopards haven't won their last 3 matches. They have always been ending in draws. But you know, if they end up winning this match, it will be a big boost not only for the technical bench but also the neck, because there's a lot of pressure on the neck, and that is the National Executive Committee. And if this goes on like this until the end, and you understand, even Cedric has tried to talk about it, they don't have that mentality to hold on to the lead until the end of the match. And as we speak, I think Chelsea have just taken the lead against Sunderland. It's an early goal from
3 minutes.
Garnacho finally, the Manchester outcast, has just gotten
no, he's broken his duck.
No, it is an outcast. At Manchester United, he was just fighting with his shadows, but here right now he's overshadowing his shadow. I think that's a good one for Garnacho, 1-0 against Sunderland. Then back to FKF Premier League, that is Sportpesa Premier League. I think when FC is doing well, Gor Mahia is doing well, definitely the league becomes more vibrant. But when one team is doing well than the other, definitely it brings a lot of ish on how maybe the strength of the league is. But also talking about the technical bench of FC Leopard, that is Fred Ambani. He's a man who is under pressure to ensure that he's trying to save the face of his brother, that's Boniface Ambani, who is the chairman of the club, because based on what is happening in the last few weeks or few days on the social media, it's not good image for the club, whereby the former FC Leopard chairman Dan Shikanda and the current chairman Boniface Ambani in war of words. That's not good for the team of FC Leopards caliber. They need to put all the issues, sort them behind the scenes, or rather just go and sit down and discuss those matters rather than to come and wash their dirty linen on the public. That's so sad. And you know, that could be one of the reasons why these players can decide and fight it out for the coach and for the neck. Because if these two entities don't get results against Moso KCB today, it's going to be chaotic in the den.
And when they talk about KCB, remember KCB started the league very well, but they've lost the other weekend. They lost against Gor Mahia.
Yeah.
If they lose today, and you know the way Matano is known for his abrasive coaching, no nonsense approach to football and pragmatic style. What do you think will be going through Matano's head?
I think just as you said that he's very aggressive. He'll try to push the players. Yeah, what have you lacked in this team? Because you're on a good salary, you're getting allowances on time, everything's coming on your way. Why are you not producing results? I think if they continue performing like this, by mid-season, a number of them will be shipped out.
Yeah.
And maybe also pressure can come on Matano, because he came back into the local league from Tanzania to fill in the shoe of Patrick Odhiambo, who also had come back from Tanzania after a short stint there. And him coming back, of course, is coming to prove that, yes, I did a good job at Tusker, won 2 titles with them. I won a title with the Sofapaka. Before I went to Tanzania, I tried to live up, to pull up Sofapaka, who were really struggling financially, but they managed to survive in the league. So I'm coming to a very stable team that has all the resources. Money is not an issue for KCB. It's all about now the players and the technical bench to work closely and ensure they get some wins and maybe try to challenge for the title. But unfortunately, like you have said, it has been just like a norm for KCB. They're a team that has always been starting the season very well. But when it comes to the second leg, they are shadow of their former self. They are no longer anywhere close to the title. So for them, I think they're just also the mid-table team. They are always fighting to be in the mid of the league. I don't know if they have ambitions. That's something that remains to be very debatable. Because if you have all the resources, you have the players, you have the support you want, and then you are not challenging for the local league, then you need to ask yourself a lot of questions.
Now, and you've captured it very well, Roji. The other question is, Kariobangi Sharks was playing APS Bomet. I think that game is almost coming to an end. And Sharks was leading. I don't know whether they've won it.
No, they were beaten. Sharks lost 2-1. I think
to APS.
To APS, that was the first ever win for APS in the league.
Because Sharks led until the 74th minute.
Yeah.
So
I think to some extent that's a huge relief to former Gor Mahia assistant coach, that is Michael Nam, who has been under a lot of pressure. Because the one handling APS Bomet currently, and him already having lost his first 3 matches of the season, pressures on him, and that win has just lifted them one place above from the bottom. Right now they are number 17, and number last, of course, I understand should be the. Let me just confirm. They're just one place above the relegation, the bottom place, and for them, coming to the Premier League, and of course, how difficult it's always for any newcomers to maneuver in the league, and finally they've gotten it. I think it is a huge relief, and they should thank also the international break, because that way somewhere maybe relieved some pressure from them during that period.
Now, gentlemen, this match, the Black Cats are trailing 1-0 in the English Premier League, away from what you are discussing about SportPesa Premier League. The high-flying Black Cats Sedu have been hit by a quick goal from Alejandro Garnacho, and it seems that it's going to be a very interesting game, because in the other match between Newcastle, also Walter Mande, your guy, has hit the woodwork twice now. So it seems that these games are very pacey. I don't know what you guys have to say about the way the matches, the way they're progressing.
No, Chelsea are playing at home, and they are playing with a purpose. Remember, it's a club that has actually celebrated one trophy this season, before the start of the season.
Which cup?
Club World Cup.
It's
the only team that actually seen as the best team in the world so far at its stand, because they win the Club World Cup.
The cup which is equivalent to Kotbiro here in Island.
The weight that cup carries actually lies in Chelsea's cabinet. No one can erase that fact. And Chelsea, they are celebrating it right now. So as to say, they need to go ahead and also win EPL. Though EPL has so many thorns ahead of them, they don't know how actually to unlock them before they reach at the glory kind of podium. And how they are doing it necessarily with a simple formula. One game at a time. What actually will happen thereafter is a question of the other day. And they have actually come to understand that how Brighton came and embarrassed them at home. Remember, they lost against Brighton by 3-1. And since then, Chelsea has been playing all along at different ball games. And I think the red cards that Roger said here also was quite a number of a lesson to them. They not necessarily bring their discipline kind of stature to pitch and play football rather than bringing other the antiques that are not associated with football that end up penalizing them and costing the team. Right now, they are in a command of the space, and they have players that can really manage that particular goal, going by how they have been playing. And more so, they are still pressing, saying, I think Sunderland, they are going to see their dark day.
Sunderland is going to see bad things. Bad things are going to happen to Black Cats.
Yes, at the bridge.
But Black Cats will always close the bridge.
You know, the thing with this team that comes from Championship, they pull some necessarily a surprise. But if you go by the last 3 seasons, they have not been the same Championship teams that we have associated ourselves with the last 5 or 10 years ago. They have been coming, they try to breathe hot a little bit, and then they drop back to where they came from. So, yeah, if Sunderland is really dancing within the same style, I think this might be the start of their demises moving on. They can actually lose to Chelsea, and then moving forward, they start dropping point, because their season of dropping point, their area of dropping point is actually what we are ushering in the month of December, January. When other teams are fighting for glory, Championship team actually struggle to amass their stature.
But let me remind you, Cedric, that Nottingham Forest and remember also Leicester sometimes back in the years proved us wrong. Said, Roger, you remember that?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah,
and it's all about how you plan your squad coming into the Premier League, because for Nottingham, they had to do a lot of business during the transfers. They bought a number of star players. I think those are at the start of the season. It was really difficult for them. But once they start gelling, I think they produced the result that the owner wanted. And also, they had a very good coach in Espirito. But after that, Espirito has done the wonders with the team. And then, the owner says, you have to leave. And that's why Nottingham have been struggling in the recent few matches. But comparing now with what Black Cats are doing, they already achieved what their predecessors did. I think a team like Norwich, those teams that went down into the Championship, they are nowhere closer to what the Black Cats have achieved in their opening, I think 5 matches or so, because Black Cats have been garnering points in those matches, and those points are likely to save them from relegation when the season comes to an end in May, because as the season progresses, it's becoming bumpy, very bumpy. So they'll consider themselves lucky to have already surprised their opponents too early in the season. But as the season progresses, these teams are getting to learn new. They're getting to know what our tactics are, how your players do their work on the pitch, and it becomes very, very difficult for the opposition, or rather for the likes of Black Cats, to now continue without they started the season. So it's going to be a very Cinderella season for the likes of the Black Cats.
Okay. So now, AFC and the match which is going on between AFC and KCB it was halftime. They've gone back, and KCB has done 3 changes immediately at the break. 3 changes at the break. Boniface Omondi out.
The perceived.
Listen, Boniface Omondi out. Richard Omondi out, and December Kisaka out. And of course, your good friend, the Lion, has brought in Francis Kahiro, Jack Okello, and Kelvin Etemesi to steady the ship at the break.
They need, remember, it's a team also that has got so much hope. Having acquired the services of Clyde Synergy, remember him actually left FC to Botswana, has now come back to the team. Also having the services of Mieno, as Roger said here. I'm so surprised that Boniface Omondi has been withdrawn, and the way he started on a very high note during the opener of the season. He did wonders actually by scoring goals that made them being seen like a game changer coming in deep in the season.
But you remember that was it the same game or what? It was really controversial whereby the referee had given a certain player a card and then he forgot. He gave him another yellow card midway in the second half.
Then
the
yes,
player continued playing until the final whistle.
Continued playing.
The quality of refereeing in Kenya is crazy.
But I came to learn, and necessarily have been castigating our referee and everything. And you know, some of them that are doing good job. That's why they have been embraced by CAF. They're actually gracing Africa Cup of Nations come December, right? But also there are so many things that these referees are doing. The other day they were about to strike, if you remember.
They're
about to go. They are not being paid. And those are the things that also sometimes also make these referees, I might not by say, embrace the so-called match fixing. Because if they come across such kind of essays that can put money into their pocket, they will allow it flow. For instance, we saw the other day actually penalties being awarded on Aflipsi.
The one awarded to Austin Odhiambo.
There are so many things that surrounds this refereeing kind of family that falls far from what we normally capture with our eye. You are forced to go and man a team, but you have not been honored. You are not going to earn your rightful wage at the end of it. What will you do if you get somebody across the way who will promise you something?
You'll sell your soul. Just sell your soul.
I think office needs to read much into it and try to correct where possible and make things work. But back to FC and the KCB, I'm now at least trying to see my face turning now brighter and much brighter.
Why?
Because this is a team that I know it can win. And playing against KCB actually has been shaken off, and I think Matano has been surprised. That's why he has done all those changes. It tells a story of we are not there, see what happened. It tells a story of FC which is really causing some havoc in the side of the KCB. And that's why Matano can move very fast. You know, it's quite unnecessary to see a player of Boniface or Mondi's stature being withdrawn at halftime. Not unless he has picked an injury. Going by how he has played, back at even at Gor Mahia, is a player who goes for goals. How do you dare withdraw a player who can give you results? It means something is not working. He has either been denied space, maybe has not been moving balls as we normally see him moving, and then that tells a story of FC Leopard which has contained him. And that's something actually to smile about.
Why are you so happy, Cedric?
That's the player.
Why are you so happy?
No, that's the player that I knew he was capable of punishing FC Leopard. True or false?
Yeah, he has been scoring goals again.
So if he's withdrawn at this time, an FC can still now go ahead and score some goals.
If FC loses this match, what will you say?
We'll have some words by that time.
But Cedric, Kelvin Etemesi has also been a thorn in FC Flesh when he was training for, I think, Nairobi City Stars.
Yeah.
And is a threat when he comes on, as well as Francis Kahiro, who had a very good season at the Bankers last season. He was, I think, their top scorer, and he was also chasing for the Golden Boot before he started blowing hot and cold midway in the season. So this means that Matano wants to get a goal, and he has brought in people who are going to confuse the Leopards' backline. And who knows, maybe through that confusion, and you understand Leopards always try to switch off when it matters most.
But Shitemi, you also need to know that FC Leopard also has equally some depth in their bench. We have the likes of Omune, who is still warming the bench. Elias Mugani, whom we acquired the other day. They are still on that particular bench. Those are players who can still come in and turn around things.
Now it's up the coach. Sometimes coach can decide not to do that. You as a fan, you're looking for him to make those changes and bring people who can try to increase that pressure on the opposition. But for him, maybe you want to hold on to that lead. And as you hold on to that lead, pressure continues camping.
So if he holds on and he goes on to lose, is when he realized that fans are even more mad than him.
Exactly.
Why are you threatening the coach?
We need him to win.
You are threatening the coach.
No, these are must win. Even for his survival. And Shtemi has said it here. And I think also being a human being, he's seeing actually what is going around his face. He need necessarily to protect, if necessary, to protect that one lead, one goal lead. Or else go ahead and score more.
Absolutely.
Whatever kind of win he will happen to amass at the end, that's what the fans need.
He has to do everything within his power to ensure he gets the maximum points today.
Yes.
No matter what. Whether he's going to get that win through the sea, land, air,
Absolutely.
or where.
Yes.
He has to win.
Why are you guys threatening the coach?
No, we can't allow Gor actually to continue opening the gap. As Shitemi said here, there's no football in Kenya without FC
Leopards.
Gor Mahia.
Oh.
And at any given time, Gor Mahia continue opening that gap, leaving FC Leopard behind. Even the derby will lose snow, will lose its
Will
Yeah.
Now, it seems that the match you are watching, gentlemen, Chelsea versus Sunderland is on 20th minute. But it seems that Sunderland has managed to put a lot of bodies behind the ball now. And they're attacking. And you can see the way it's going. And they've scored. I've told you. And they've scored.
Before even you finish your statement.
And I've told you, you can see, they put more bodies behind the ball.
The ball, yeah.
Yeah. And you see their throw-in has caused havoc, and they've scored.
The Black Cats are no longer afraid of the bridge. They'll jump over the bridge into the water and swim away.
Ronaldo.
Yeah.
So that's what I was telling, and that's what I was bringing, because I saw that throw-in at a very dangerous position, and these long throws are becoming causing havoc to very many teams nowadays. And you can see that one.
They have scored, by the way, and it's not an offside either.
It's not, because the guy who's kicked the ball is from very far out.
Hey, there's somebody who's keeping him.
No, maybe ball to hand.
Yeah, but even the guy who scored.
No, ball to hand. They can maybe try and check on the ball to hand. Handball there.
Where?
No. To Sunderland, but I doubt. Because it came from the body before going back onto the hand.
Exactly.
It was a slim touch.
So they deserve it.
Yeah, they do. But VR always have other ideas.
Yeah. But anyway, it seems, and we say that the Black Cats are in a very good form. That is Sidor. It's been given. It's basically 1-1. So Chelsea have to dig deeper into the boot again and bring Estravao in the second half.
Yeah, it's a very
to rescue them.
It's a very tricky player.
Yeah.
Very tricky player. If we're not well managed, he can really turn you around.
But you see, what you are saying is that this team, Sunderland, it has some experience there. Granit Xhaka is too experienced.
They have turned around actually things, and they're playing very well.
And they have too many, and you see now they have too many players behind the ball. Yeah. As not as the way they started. That was a sucker punch, which Garnacho, they had not even set themselves properly. In the 3rd minute, Garnacho gets them with a sucker punch. It's 1-0. Then they regroup, get more bodies behind the ball, get an equalizer. And you can see what's happening. So I think, gentlemen, let's take a short break. I don't know what is happening between Newcastle. Let me just quickly check the game between Newcastle and... because Newcastle, Voltemande had already hit the crossbar. And of course, Newcastle has scored. James Murphy has scored on the 18th minute. So Newcastle lead 1-0 as well. Because they were also doing very well, and they had a very good team out there today. So Murphy has scored. So Fulham are staring at the 5th defeat in a row. Marco Silva has to get something happening very soon.
He needs to go to Portugal and ask for the gods to come and save him.
He's an Iberian. So, gentlemen, I think we go for a break, and when you come back, we'll check what's happening in the other matches and see whether AFC has managed to win the match.
No, the Leopard today is
the Leopard
high.
Yeah, okay, keep listening.
SpiceFM.